What's up, guys? Back with another movie review. This is one that I had a chance to see at the theater recently that I didn't think I'd ever get to see at the theater. It's a classic movie from the 60s. It's called To Kill a Mockingbird. It's a very famous movie. It's one of the few, like, kind of undeniable classics that pretty much everybody agrees, is one of the best movies ever made. The story is based on Harper Lee's novel, and it follows Gregory Peck, who plays Atticus Finch, who's a lawyer defending a black man who's been accused of raping a white woman. And of course, the town at the time is, pretty much sentenced this guy before he's ever even had a trial. At one point, Gregory Peck has to sit outside of the jail to make sure that, that the guy doesn't get lynched and killed before he's even able to, get a fair trial. If he's even capable of getting a fair trial. At the same time, Atticus's kids are kind of running around getting into adventures of their own, mostly revolving around the Radley family that lives down the street. And they've heard stories about this Boo Radley, who's this, complete weirdo who lives in the house, and they're like daring each other to go past the gate or to peek in the window and try to get a look at him. So there's a lot going on in the movie. This is one that it seems like one anybody with a casual interest in movies has probably seen. But when I went to the theater, I talked to some of the other people that were there, and they hadn't seen it. And so I thought maybe I should go ahead and make a video for this. Because I think a lot of people are resistant to watching these older movies, especially if they're in black and white for some reason. I don't understand what the reason behind that is. But this is one that even if you're not the kind of person who would normally watch like kind of an older classic movie, this is one that definitely doesn't feel like an old-timey movie. It is black and white, but it has a very kind of a brisk pace, and it has a storyline that's certainly relevant even now. It is very serious, deals with some very serious stuff, but it also has some very effective and frequent humor. It's got universal themes in it that I think hold up maybe even more now than they did back then, which is extremely rare in movies that you would hold up at all, but let alone be as relevant as this story is. The performances are great. Gregory Peck won an Oscar for this. The cast is deep. It's got Robert Duvall in his first role, although he doesn't really get a lot of screen time. But everything in this is just really good. All the tumblers fall into place on this one. The kind of atmosphere and the look of the town is effective. It's got a lot of colorful characters in it. It's got some really good dialogue. Even like it's got really well written, serious, dramatic dialogue. But it's also, like I said, got some really good humor in it, and just kind of a few kind of weird offbeat moments that are a lot of fun. Again, this is one that I think a lot of people might just pass on because of the fact that it is older. And, some people are just averse to watching kind of old-timey movies. But this is one that even, like I said, even if you're not the kind of person who would normally watch an older movie, this is one you should definitely give a shot to because it definitely holds up. It's a really fantastic movie. I was so excited to get to see it on the big screen, so that was a lot of fun. But you can also pick it up on Blu-ray and DVD. And the transfer looks really good on the Blu-ray. I don't have it on hand to show you the cover, but it's a really good transfer. I think it's a great movie, and again, it's one that I just assumed everybody had kind of seen, but based on talking to the people who went to the screening, I thought maybe, there are people who haven't, who are kind of skipping it because it is a classic movie, and so I wanted to just make a quick video to remind you guys how great this movie is, and if you haven't seen it, if you have even the slightest interest in, like, film, and you don't, like, if you just want to watch the more recent movies, I understand that, but if you have any interest at all in kind of the history of cinema or, like, classic films, this is one that has to be on your watch list, so definitely check it out. I also did a full write-up on it at markfusion.com. If you want to check out my other stuff there as well, I've got hundreds of other reviews, not all classic movies by any means, quite the opposite in a lot of cases, but I'm also on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch at markfusion. You can also go check out my Patreon if you want to get exclusive content, but the best way you can help me out, as always, is just to hit that sub button. It's free, it's easy, and definitely helps in a huge way. Even like a single sub makes a huge difference at this point. So thank you so much for watching this video. And again, even if you don't like classic movies normally, this is definitely one that will hold up and will keep your interest. Thank you so much for watching this. Hopefully I'll see you soon.